Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Movie Morse from Movie Madness Lives, and welcome to another episode of Why Horror Matters, the occasional series where we talk about a horror movie. I'm Nick,
And I'm Drew.
and today we'll be talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original movie, the first one from
1974.
1974. My phone glitched out because I was looking at the year for it, but my phone glitched. Now, believe it or not, this is actually one of my favorite horror movies.
And I want to say it's one of my favorite horror movies, but it's definitely one I like a lot.
Yeah,
So,
because I don't know what it is with me, but like I like films I can watch and be like, hey, these guys can do it. So can I. Like, I don't mean that I'm like a jealous, like, oh, I watched, I don't know, freaking Avengers once and I thought, hey, I can do this too. Like, this just kind of gives me hope that, you don't need $1 billion to make a good movie. And
yeah,
this
and I
movie
think
was,
most of the people involved were still in film school when they made this. I
oh,
think
yeah.
even Toby Hooper himself was like, yeah, this is basically a student film that went on to become one of the most influential films in its genre. So,
Uh, yep.
and so, yeah, it's definitely a movie that, as a big horror fan, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like one of my go-to horror movies, but it's definitely one that I hold a lot of respect and admiration for.
Oh,
I mean, even if, like, not only for its influence on the genre, but just because not only of the fact that they made this movie on a shoestring budget, for the 1970s,
yeah.
um, but also just for the absolute nightmare it was to film for the people involved, and that's something that we'll get
Oh, yeah,
into as well.
we'll definitely cover that.
Yeah.
So, I think having that little they used like a was it a consumer grade camera? I don't know how cameras worked back in the 70s, but they used like a film consumer grade camera for it, I believe, and I think it,
It
it
was, it
just adds
was,
that.
yeah, it was something like that, and it definitely adds a more raw feeling to
Oh,
the
absolutely, a
movie
very
because,
grimy and raw
yeah,
feel. Like it's just like it just looks like the whole environment is just decaying around the whole
oh
environment is just
yeah,
decaying around the characters, and I think that adds, like I said, to the horror atmosphere. And I feel like some people analyze this film as like a decay of American culture. Do you agree with that or not?
I somewhat agree to that. I think trust me, I have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of those movies that, especially academic in the academic field of film, is one of those movies that's picked apart to death because there's a lot of people that read this movie as, oh, it's a comment on the American meatpacking industry. It's a
Oh yeah.
comment on fucking veganism. It's a commentary on American culture in general, like you said. Like you can read it a bunch of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure which camp I fall into, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
but
I don't really fall into a camp either. I mean, if you want to see it that way, that's fine. But like, I
yeah.
actually think a lot. I think the allegories for slaughterhouses, I think, actually add to the overall uneasiness of the film. And
Oh
here's
yeah,
so I'm gonna be honest.
especially with that scene with the hitchhiker at the beginning when they first pick him up,
Yeah.
and he just kind of casually is talking about, just beating a cow to death or something.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
it's very unsettling.
Mm-hmm. Very unsettling, and the fact that he, like, not only that, but he also just like cuts himself and cuts
Yeah, yeah,
freaking Franklin as well, and eventually like marks the van, which is, yeah, that hitchhiker
yeah.
is just insane.
The 1970s were like the peak time for hitchhikers, and it's like, of course, I'm looking at it as somebody who was born in the late 90s, and I'm just like, I would not be able to live in the 1970s, I think, in some areas, just because I would not trust hitchhikers ever. But
I don't know how I'd fare in the old days, to be honest. I was born in '98, and I barely remember I'm not trying to like sugarcoat this or anything, but like genuinely, I barely remember the day of 9/11. Like, but anyways,
yeah,
Texas
and
Chainsaw.
I think on top of that, I think I was reading this somewhere that I guess there was like some sheriff I think in Texas who once thanked Toby Hooper I think, or somebody involved in this movie, because I guess this movie made people not want to pick up hitchhikers.
Wait, the sheriff thanked him?
I'm trying to find it. Like
That's
yeah.
that's
So according to Edwin Neal, who I guess he's the guy who plays the hitchhiker, Texas state troopers actually shook his hand and thanked him for causing crime to drop 18%. Apparently, the message audiences took away from this movie was don't pick up hitchhikers.
That reminds me of that one freaking meme. I don't know if you see it. That reminds me of this one freaking meme where it's like a guy looking at a piece of media, but the message goes over his head. He's like, "Wow, da 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 da
Yeah.
da." Like, but nowadays I like the spin where like the intended message is actually what the guy interprets, but the real message is not even that deep. Like, have you seen that meme before? You've seen what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. I'm pretty
I
sure
feel
I
like I
have,
feel
yeah.
like that. I feel like I feel like that meme just came to life where it's like freaking like Texas Chainsaw Massacre horror movie. Wow, don't pick up hitchhikers.
I mean, hey, if you want to look at a movie that way, you can. It's
Well,
perfectly
to be
valid.
fair, I watched a horror movie audition, and my takeaway was that bitches be crazy.
You could probably take that away from this movie too.
Well,
Because trust me, people are fucking crazy, as you'll see.
yeah. Yeah. Anyways, but speaking of absolute insanity, the fucking family is absolutely sick and twisted.
Yeah, the
Well, I mean,
Sawyer family.
it's
Yeah,
mostly the
and
fucking hitchhiker. What was the hitchhiker's name again? Like Gerald or something?
uh, I I think he was just called the Hitchhiker. I think.
Yeah, the hitchhiker was like fucking insane. I think the hitchhiker was the most insane because like when he's like mocking like Pam in the chair, but like the
Sally.
father, what?
Sally is the one
I thought her
in
name
the
was
chair at
fucking
the end.
Pam. Damn it.
No, there is another character named Pam who she's the one who gets impaled on the hook.
Oh yeah, that could explain a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, he's mocking Sally, but like the freaking father's just like, no, hey, stop doing that. Look, we're gonna kill her, but at least be freaking civil about it. You know? I mean, no, I'm not trying
Yeah,
to say the
yeah.
father was any good either. The dude fucking acted insane,
Well, yeah,
especially
yeah.
kidnapping Sally and everything.
They're all equally insane,
Yeah.
to be
I
honest.
think it's also implied that Leatherface might have some daddy issues as well.
I don't really think that's implied. I think that's pretty obvious to me.
Oh,
Because you can see. I think that's one of the things that makes him somewhat unique compared to other slasher villains is that he's not really. Um, I'm trying to figure out the way to phrase this here. You could just tell by the way he uh interacts with the cook, I believe is the guy's name. He's like the older one.
yeah.
Um, and just the way he reacts and the way he basically gets abused by him,
Oh,
basically.
absolutely. I think there's even a moment in the movie where after he kills the hippie guy, I think his name's like Carl or something. I want to get to the non psycho cast later, but like he kind of like sits down and just kind of looks very stressed, and the camera kind of zooms up on his face. Like, well, what's it? Is he like going insane? Is he having a schizophrenic episode? Is he worried about something? You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's just like so not only is his family just very messed up with the fact that they like rob graves and make like fucking furniture out of like carcasses and shit, but they also like kill and eat humans as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And it doesn't
I mean,
help
I
that
think that
like they stop for gas at a gas station barbecue that's run by the freaking cook. So
yeah.
it's just all the more morbid. It's like is he serving animals or humans?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are they even in business? That's another thing. Are they even in business?
That is
Because
absolutely
because
true.
because judging by the architecture of the house and everything, it's like these people probably aren't even in business. Because I think you can kind of pick up earlier on. Because I think even the hitchhiker says at the beginning when they first pick him up, he's like, "Yeah, my whole family was in the meatpacking business." or in the
Mm-hmm.
slaughterhouse industry or whatever. And I guess they all got laid off because of new technology.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so they
It
all
makes
probably
me
they're all probably unemployed, and so they all turned to cannibalism, I guess.
that makes sense actually. That does make sense. It actually so the grandpa in the movie varies not is just as twisted, but like the dude's so freaking old, like he almost looks like a corpse, and it makes you wonder: are they is is the grandpa also reconstructed from human parts that they like fucking robbed and everything? Like I'm pretty sure it's just he's just like very fucking withered that he can barely do anything, but just makes you wonder like well, maybe did the family have something involved too, as well? Like of how
I'll be
Grandpa
honest.
ended.
I always thought the grandpa was I always thought he was just dead, but then they sort of like I guess they try to preserve his body or whatever, and they like because if you look at him when the grandpa is like trying to like hit Sally and stuff,
Oh yeah,
it's mostly the you can see the other family members working the arms for him almost.
yeah. I think the grandpa also kind of smiles a bit when Sally wakes up and he's at the dinner table. Plus, when they cut Sally's finger and the grandpa kind of starts like sucking on it, they I don't know
Yeah,
if this is
yeah.
just ad for comedic effect, but you can hear like sucking sounds added in.
Oh yeah, I don't know why I didn't catch that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I always thought that that grandpa guy was just a dead corpse, you know, kind of like almost a weekend at Bernie's kind of situation, you know,
Yeah. I think I
but a
think I
lot more
think
psychotic.
I think they made. I think in the most recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game, isn't he like a playable character where he can like detect the players or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I didn't play it, but
I
I
didn't
know I
either.
saw a trailer where that was happening. I'm just like, yeah. So yeah, the Sawyer family, bunch of fucking psychos.
Yep, bunch of savages.
We are the savages.
Well,
That's pretty
funny
cool.
enough, that song is the first time I ever heard that sound effect, the wah that plays at the beginning of that song, and it's a
Yeah.
sound effect throughout the movie. Yeah,
That's so crazy that the film soundtrack. This is a good transition, but the film soundtrack is just it's I don't even know half of it's made out of instruments, with the exception of some licensed songs that play on the radio. But like you got the main theme where it just sounds like metal being dragged across the floor, like or just
yeah.
metal just being creaked. Like it just
It's
adds
it's
this like it adds this decaying and industrious atmosphere to the whole film.
I mean, it's more ambiance more than music, you know.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And the fact that that's really the only soundtrack outside of some licensed songs, it's it definitely adds to the uneasiness of a lot of the scenes in this movie,
Oh, absolutely.
along with the guerrilla filmmaking on display.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Um so I wanted to mention like the radio I think plays an important role cuz it's like describing how there's all these grave robberies going on when like behind
Yeah,
when really the whole family was behind it. So it shows like, you know, the city slash area that the freaking family lives in. This is just their playground and their sandbox. They just got to make sure they don't get caught and they can live to see another day.
yep.
Again, it's very. It just makes me wonder just how. I know we're not. I think the remake's due for another day, but like I know in the remake they imply that the police force in the remake is actually just as evil as the Sawyer family, or that's assuming they're even called the Sawyer family in the remake. But again, that's for another day. That's for another day. I have not seen the
Yeah,
remake,
yeah,
nor have I seen any of the sequels either.
yeah. Neither have I. Same
Yeah,
here.
I heard the remakes half decent, but anyways, original.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess it's time to transit. While we're on the topic of characters, let's transition to our main cast. Drew, what do you think about the main cast?
I mean, I think they work. You know, there's not, you know, like a lot of other like horror movies from this time. There's not like a lot to them. You know, you don't really learn a lot about them other than okay, you learn that Franklin and Sally are siblings.
Yeah,
Um, that's kind of about it.
you learned that
Yeah.
Pam's kind of astrology. astrology
Yeah,
girl.
yeah, she's a bit of a science geek,
Uh-huh. There's
and
not really a lot to
that's kind of
there's
it.
there's not really a lot that stands out from these characters. If I'm being honest, I mean they're fine. They're like your average everyday, excuse me, average everyday characters. Like they kind of remind me of college students. They're just kind of venturing out in the countryside. And yeah, you have the tip. One thing I know is that Franklin, he seems like a very cynical person. Like he mocks the girls while they're laughing because he doesn't like that, and
Yeah.
he just seems very cautious and overtly concerned, and he's always playing with his knife. It's just like, is Franklin okay, man? Like I know he's in a wheelchair, but like, is he okay?
Yeah, that's his one character trait is that he's very annoying.
I never saw him as annoying. He seems like more annoyed than he is annoying. He feels like he's trying to be the straight man of everything, but I mean, because he starts questions like, did this guy come to mark us or anything? Like, and he notices like there's like a nest with like a skull and feathers, and he's just like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he got on my nerves a little bit.
Yeah, I know. It's like what he did kind of get on my nerves, but be honest, sure. Do you think he deserved what he got to him, despite how annoying he could have been?
Well, I don't think any of the characters really deserved what happened to them.
I agree. I agree. I mean, that shit was fucking brutal. Like all that shit. Like
I
it
mean
was.
that's the I mean that's after all it's kind of the point, right? It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
shit was freaking
disturbing.
brutal. Ironically
Yeah.
enough, uh, someone said that it is pretty gory in some areas, but like compared to a lot of other horror movies around the time, it wasn't all too gory.
Or even its own sequels. I mean, let's
Yeah,
be real. Like it's really there's really hardly any gore in this movie at all. It's mostly
I mean,
implied.
oh, absolutely, yeah. And I think there's a rumor saying that Tobin Hooper actually originally wanted a PG rating, so he kind of kept the violence more implied rather than on screen. But he later denied that rumor, from what I've heard. No, not him, but someone in the production company denied that rumor.
Yeah, yeah. I think even in the '70s, this is when a lot of even most horror movies in the '70s really, unless like they're really obscure, unless you have really obscure exploitation stuff, really didn't show a lot when it came to gore.
Oh yeah, that's crazy because like you think of exploitation movies, the gore would be on screen in your face, and that's where the term
Yeah,
exploitation
yeah.
comes from. But no,
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah. I mean, the only other '70s era exploitation film that I've seen is Last House on the Left, the original,
Mm,
and I don't recall there being a ton of gore in that movie.
that's
Um,
crazy.
that's also a very like low budget movie. That was the directorial debut of another horror
Wes
legend,
Craven.
Wes Craven. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
it's a movie that I know we're getting off topic a little bit here, but it's a movie that once you watch once, you'll probably won't want to watch it again.
No, that's fine, man. I mean, some people consider Texas Chainsaw an exploitation movie, when I always thought it was more as a horror B movie.
It kind of is. It is kind of in that category of watch once, you probably won't be begging to rewatch it, but
Well, that's a shame
it
because I
is.
watched it again and I liked it.
No, I liked it too. It's just that, like I said, it's not really one of my go-to horror movies.
That's fair. Well, why is it not one of your go-to horror movies, if you don't mind me asking?
To be honest, it,
Eh,
to be perfectly honest, it's I'm trying to find the words.
it's fine.
I know. I guess it's just a personal preference. I guess
Oh, that makes sense.
it's. I don't find the characters to be as interesting as some of the characters in some other classic horror movies, like Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream,
Yeah.
or even the Halloween series,
No, no, that's fine.
or some of these other horror series. The movie is very much a um it's the scares aren't really or the point isn't really the characters, it's what happens to the characters,
Yeah,
you know.
even the tagline on the poster says, "Who will survive and what will become of them."
Hell, at the beginning of the movie, there's that sort of opening crawl sequence that's narrated by I
Oh,
forget the guy's name, but it's like it really glues you into hey, this is something is much more is very like grounded and very it very much makes the movie feel like this is something that you're not really supposed to be watching, you know?
yeah.
And the grimy feel of the cinematography and the set design and everything
Oh
adds to
yeah.
that, I think.
Yeah. What's funny that opening too, where it's just like a corpse being zoomed out and everything too.
Yeah,
That kind of sets the mood of just how disgusting the movie is. Which,
yeah,
fun fact, that scene was like recreated in the Chainsaw Man anime opening. Just a little trivia for you. Which it wasn't like a full on one for one shot that took up the whole opening. It was just like they have a montage where they're
yeah,
recreating openings, and the first scene they recreate. Well, no, it's not. It's not the first movie reference, but that is one of that's just one of them. But anyways, still again that opening just kind of sets the whole disgusting, grimy mood for you.
yeah. I mean, even going back to the exploitation thing, even the movie's title, you can think of, oh, that's an exploitation movie once you hear it. Like it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It sounds
Oh
like
yeah,
something very exploitative, and it sounds like, and also, especially by like, I'm sure to a lot of people today, just that title is, oh, this is some sort of like gore fest type movie,
yeah.
but it's
That's
really not.
yeah, and it ended up starting a whole franchise too.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
um,
a lot of people argue that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the first slasher movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I can see it. It was like it was the one that started the whole slashers wielding power tools things.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, because like it's kind of a common misconception that Halloween was the first slasher movie. Depending on who you ask, that's not really true. Some people consider Black Christmas I think from 1974 to be the first slasher movie.
I didn't see that
Some
one.
people, yeah, some people consider Texas Chainsaw the first slasher movie. It all depends on who you ask, to be
That's
honest.
true. Yeah, that is very true. But I think, excuse me, I think Texas Chainsaw definitely had like a huge influence on the slasher
Oh,
genre.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Real quick, I wanted to point out, Drew. Just by the way, the when I mentioned that they recreated when they recreated the opening scene of the Chainsaw Man opening, they didn't actually draw an animated corpse. It was just a character sleeping with a animal, still alive by the way, still an animal. Well, not animal.
Okay.
It's a freaking dog devil, Pochita. To any of the viewers who know what I'm fucking talking about, they probably know what I'm talking about. But sorry, just
I don't.
anyways, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But hey, Chainsaw Man, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the huge influence, huge influence. Anyways, um, so yeah, so yeah, like yeah, but there was like the whole thing. It was a pretty influential film, even though it may not be the first. It had an influence on. Like I said, first slasher to use like a full on power tool. In fact, like I remember as a kid, I'd see a lot of a lot of cartoons. Every time they reference a horror movie, it's always like Jason Voorhees mask wielding a chainsaw.
Yeah, you're thinking of that one bit in The Simpsons, right?
Both The Simpsons, Total Drama Island, and there was a Looney Tunes short that ended with Porky and Daffy going into a movie, and then like it had a guy with like a hockey mask and a chainsaw and like long black hair, and then like they scream in terror and Bugs Bunny's in the audience and he says something I forgot what he says, and once it goes to that's all folks, signed Daffy and Bugs, Daffy and Porky like rip through the thing, running and screaming. So that's what I'm trying to say is it's not just by the way, I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons as a kid. I mean, I was like, yeah, there was Total Drama Island. Oh, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Diary of a Wimpy Kid even had like the freaking hockey mask and chainsaw, which I know the hockey mask was from Friday the 13th, but the chainsaw, Leatherface, baby.
A lot of like people who are non-horror fans, they confuse these characters all the time for
They
the
do.
Leatherface, for Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers or whatever. Yeah, they do.
That's great. That's kind of strange because I kind of it's like I remember I was like looking at Friday the 13th material like when I was a teenager. I'm like, wait, why isn't Jason wielding a chainsaw like they do all those parodies? But nope, it's a machete. I almost
Yeah.
said machete, like the freaking character, but no, it's a freaking machete. But yeah, like you mentioned, a lot of people do confuse the characters because both Jason and Leatherface are pretty iconic. But I feel, who do you feel like people recognize more, Leatherface or Jason?
Probably Jason, because the hockey
Eh,
mask thing.
that's
You
true.
know, not only does this movie, a lot of people, a lot of, reason that a lot of people consider this movie to be the first slasher movie is not only for what you just talked about with the killer with the mask and the power tool as a weapon,
Yeah.
his signature weapon, but it also, you could argue, started the whole trope of the final girl, which is a very popular trope in
Oh
slasher
yeah,
movies.
it does.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, where you have this one girl who's she's the last one, and she's the one
Mm-hmm.
who takes on the killer and all that, or gets away. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in this one, she doesn't really take them on as she does get away. She escapes from them, and often, in times, and in horror movies, that's often the happy ending, right? Is they get away. They live.
Oh
That's
yeah.
usually the quote unquote happy ending. But it's like you can even tell that even the way that just she's acting as the truck drives away. It's like, look, she might be out of
Harm's way,
Leatherface's
but that shit's gonna
chainsaw
scar her
zone.
life.
Oh
That shit's gonna
yeah,
scar her for life.
absolutely, absolutely. Like,
That's gonna scar
yeah,
her for the rest of her life, man.
yeah, yeah,
Like she like yeah, she's laughing, but like she's covered in fucking blood, and of
yeah.
course like it makes me wonder, did she go just as insane as freaking Leatherface at the end, where he just kind of like upset, swinging his chainsaw around like. I just
Yeah,
looked very stupid doing that. I'm so glad this
yeah.
podcast is right now an audio only podcast, so no one could like freaking make fun of me. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and this is another thing too, but in the most recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, the Netflix requel
Wait,
that they
what
did a
is it? A
few years
prequel or
ago,
a sequel?
it was a sequel to the
Hmm.
to this movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They bring Sally back, but they basically turn her into Laurie Strode from the recent Halloween movies when she's basically the traumatized survival girl essentially who has
Mm.
yeah, who and her whole goal is to get revenge on the killer and blah blah blah.
Oh.
It,
I
it
didn't.
works for Halloween. It works for Halloween 2018 because it was a kind of a unique premise for the time. But that whole traumatized survival girl thing has been done to death by now. To be
Yeah,
honest,
I didn't see the Netflix movie. I heard it was bad.
I didn't either. But yeah, that's basically what I've heard. It's
Yeah,
not
and
very good.
I heard they also reference. I did see a clip where they reference like the end. Where Leatherface is swinging the chainsaw all maniacally and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also, it was also a different actor who played Sally as well. So,
Uh, that's
because
crazy.
Marilyn Burns, the actress who played Sally in the original, died in 2014, I believe.
Oh
So,
shit!
yeah,
Rest in
yeah.
peace. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Sally. Thank you for being a part of one of my favorite horror films ever and one of the most influential horror films of all time.
Yeah, I think Marilyn Burns, I think even had a cameo in Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Hmm.
So, that was like a few months before she died, I think.
Yeah.
Um, I think,
Oh.
pretty sure. Let me see here. I'm going to IMDb here. Because I think several of the people involved in this movie are unfortunately no longer with us.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, Jim Sita, who plays, I believe he plays the cook, the old man, right? Um, yeah, he died in 2003.
Hmm.
Um,
What
I
about
think
the?
he came back for Texas Chainsaw 2, I believe.
Oh yeah, definitely. Texas Chainsaw 2 was a direct sequel. It was more of a black
Yeah.
comedy. So my friend who was actually supposed to show up today, but for reasons I don't know, whether it be through miscommunication or something, just didn't show up. They mentioned that the first one was actually meant to be more of a black comedy, but well, I can kind of see that. I feel like in the end it was supposed to be more of a focus on a horror movie, especially with I now the influences were not only crimes happening around a certain area in Texas, but also the crimes of Ed Gein as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, that was a big influence on this movie as well as Psycho as well, the original.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
forgot about that. Psycho was cool. Um, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
something my friend pointed out to me.
the whole killer wearing the skin of a dead victim thing that all came from Ed
Yeah.
Gein.
I
So
think the one of the original titles for this movie was either was Cheesehead.
really,
Yeah, there was also Leatherface and Leatherface Stalker, but Cheesehead is kind of funny because it feels like it feels like unintentional comedy because like I know in the beginning the hiker says my brother makes good cheesehead. And also not to mention Leatherface's mask looks very yellowish as well, like cheese. So it makes me wonder if that was one of the original intentions. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm so glad it was just the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Leatherface's
yeah,
Leatherface because I cannot fucking take that title seriously, Cheesehead.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Um.
Let me
So
see here.
I
Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface, he passed away in 2015. Um, Let me see here. Yeah, a lot of these guys are no longer with us, unfortunately.
oh
Um,
shit. Well,
let's see
again,
here.
may their legacies remain lit. Can I tell you
Yeah,
something? Can I tell you something really funny? Where you know how you mentioned that people get Jason and Leatherface mixed up sometimes.
yeah.
So here's another reference. So hear me out on this. There's this anime I watched where they made a reference to One Missed Call, but they show the film within the anime universe, but it's a straight up reference to the ending of Texas Chainsaw Massacre with like a Leatherface looking character, though the face was more blurred out, like they were wearing a suit and everything, swinging a chainsaw. I'm like, that's not One Missed Call, that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And
Yeah,
to any
I
anime
think
fans in
that
the audience, the anime was my dress up darling.
yeah that
Anyways,
specific scene though at the end with him you know wielding his chainsaw and spinning around and stuff. That
yeah,
scene actually
again,
made an appearance in American Psycho as well.
oh,
It's on
oh
it's on a
yeah,
TV. It's on a TV in the background of one scene.
oh yeah. That's yeah as well. I think that scene also appeared in Freddy Got Fingered, the Tom Green
Yeah.
movie. That scene is pretty iconic though, but
Yeah, yeah. That scene is the YouTube channel Dead Meat used that scene in one in their extended intro. It's like if you watch their podcasts and stuff,
oh yeah,
that scene is part of their intro. So
yeah. Yeah, and I guess while we're on topic of YouTubers, Video Game Donkey made a video called "100 Movie Recommendations in 1 Minute," and one of them was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the scene he picked was the ending scene. Yep.
this I'm trying to think what else can
Do
we
you,
say about this
that
movie
that
other than
ending
just
scene
how
is what? Sorry, what were you saying?
I mean, what else can we talk about this movie besides just what a grimy fucking disturbing thing this is?
Oh
I
shit.
mean,
My friend just came online. Th- they could not make it.
all
Uh,
right.
yeah, they could not make it. Apologies, apologies. Anyways, um, I'll get back. I'll get back to them later. But I know how we can transition to this. But I just
Okay.
want to point out for the record, before I come across like a big idiot, I have not seen One Missed Call yet, so I don't know if there's a scene similar to that or not. Um, anyways, we I think I wanted to mention that didn't this film have not really a bad production, but just a troubled production in general?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the Texas
do you like being in a non-air conditioned house in the middle of the Texas summer with all these lights everywhere and animal
dead
carcasses?
carcasses, and not to mention you have to black out the sun at one point, but because black has been known to like scientifically speaking, the color black has been known to like make things hotter.
Yeah,
Um,
because it doesn't reflect the sun.
yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. Apparently, the actors had a really hard time in that summer heat, especially in the house scene, the dinner scene with all the. Didn't they use real life carcasses?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, it got so hot that in the because it temperatures reached like 130, I think, degrees, something like ridiculous like that. Um, that not only did the carcasses smell badly, that some of them started to cook even because that's how hot it was.
Yeah. Um. I'm getting back to my friend real quickly. So yeah. Sorry. This is not really like a continuity error.
Yeah, I think somebody even said here, just to give you an idea of how bad it was. I forget who it was. I think it was Gunnar Hansen who played Leatherface, but I could be wrong. Please don't quote me on this. But one of the actors did say that the conditions of filming the Texas Chainsaw Massacre were so bad, and they said it was the worst experience of their life, despite the fact that they fought in Vietnam.
Wait. They thought this was worse than Vietnam?
Basically, yeah. That's how bad it. That this is to give you an example of just how bad it was.
Hmm.
Like
Really?
kind of like what we were talking about before, but off mic before we started recording, was that of all the classic movie sets to be on, this is one that I think both of us want to be on the least.
Oh, absolutely. Like, fucking man, we should do like a top 10 video of like top 10 movie sets we do not want to be on.
Yeah, yeah. This would probably top the list. Because personally, I fucking can't stand the heat. Like I'm much more of a cold weather person, and
Honest
so it's like,
I mean, how did the heat make tensions on set like did the heat make like tensions on set a lot worse cuz it's funny because like a couple weeks ago I just watched the movie Do the Right Thing, and one of the plot points was that the heat was so bad everyone just started getting hostile to each other.
yeah, that did happen on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre set. I think one of the people who played one of the Sawyer family members. So they were filming the dinner scene, right?
Yeah.
And Marilyn Burns, who plays Sally, she's tied to the chair and everything,
Yeah.
and apparently. I don't know if it was just the heat or the stress, because like they were filming there for not only was it hot as hell, they were also filming for very long periods of time, and we're talking I think somewhere around the lines of like 20-hour days or something. And one of the people who played the Sawyer family like actually wanted to kill Marilyn Burns
Wow.
because they were just their mind was so screwed up from like the heat and the stress of making a movie and everything. Like that's how much it got to these people.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, 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 damn.
And
Damn.
I would imagine it couldn't have been fun for Marilyn Burns being tied to a chair all day in that fucking
Oh.
unbearable heat.
That's like torture right there. Like
Yeah.
that's fucking torture. I mean, I live in Texas, so like I have to deal with that shit like every fucking year. Oddly enough, it's been
Yeah.
raining a lot. But anyways,
I think
um,
the heat even got so bad that like, so her arms were tied to the armrest, right, of the chair. And I
yeah,
think there were even points where her arm actually started to get burned from the chair because that's how hot it was.
yeah, um, yeah. So
Oh, and
let's.
also, and also, during that, I think during the final chase scene or during the dinner scene, one of those two scenes, um, so Marilyn Burns actually got cut a few times,
Mm-hmm.
and so some of the blood you see on her clothes at the end, some of that is actually some of her real blood.
Oh yeah, I know, but I read about that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
honestly, did they have to do multiple takes, or was that all done in one take and they just kept
I don't
filming?
know. I don't know. I do know that they had to do reshoots of that scene that she wasn't happy with.
Oh my gosh, dude, I would not been happy with that either. It's like, speaking of onset injuries, if we ever cover Lord of the Rings one day, in one of the Lord of the Rings movies, one of the characters who plays Aragorn, the guy who plays Aragorn, I forgot his name. There's a scene where he kicks like a tin helmet, but like after he kicks it, he like screams. Turns out he actually broke his foot, and they kept that in there.
Yeah, I think one of the other scenes in this movie is it's actually during the final chase scene, I think, when Leatherface I think falls and the chainsaw falls on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know that part? So
Yeah.
that part I guess was improvised, and I guess Gunnar Hansen got his leg injured during that scene somehow
Mm.
from the chainsaw. I think he
Yeah.
had like a metal plate or something on his leg or something to keep the so the chainsaw didn't actually cut him,
Oh
but
yeah.
I would imagine it probably hurt like hell.
Yeah. What's interesting? Speaking of Gunnar Hansen, like, did you know he actually wore that same shirt and didn't wash it? So a lot of the cast and
Yeah,
crew
yeah,
did not want to be around him.
yeah. I knew that.
That's
I read that
crazy.
on IMDb today. It's yeah.
Yeah.
And did you also know the guy who played Grandpa? I think his guy's name was like John something. The guy who played the grandpa. Um, what the hell was the guy's name? John Dugan. That's the guy's name. John Dugan. Uh, they had to shoot all of his shots in one day because the makeup and the prosthetics was so the process of putting it on was so labor intensive, plus the heat and everything. He's like, I do not ever want to do this again. We're gonna film all my shots in one day. So that's kind of why they had to film a lot of that dinner scene in one day,
Mm.
because of like he would just refuse once the prosthetics came off. He just refused to do it ever again because that's just how bad it was.
Yeah.
And also on another side note, another bonus trivia: John Larroquette, who is the narrator at the beginning of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
apparently his payment for doing the opening narration was a marijuana joint.
I just now remember that. I read about that too. Holy damn. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's actually
imagine being the narrator of the opening scene for like one of the most famous movies ever, and all you get was a hint of
well,
marijuana.
to be fair,
That's all you
I don't
get.
know if I don't know what's weirder, that or in the second Deadpool movie, Brad Pitt makes a cameo, and the only payment he got was a cup of coffee. Well, it wasn't like a payment; it was just him saying, "Hey, I'll be in your movie. Just give me a cup of coffee." That's
I mean,
real.
to be fair, he's Brad Pitt, so
Yeah,
you know
that's
he's
true.
probably a lot richer than this John Larroquette guy.
Yeah. But I don't know what else to add on the tech. I had something in. Oh no, I already mentioned it was the freaking shirt. But that's all I really got to say about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, I love this movie because like it's a low budget movie, and like here's the thing: I'm not saying every single low budget movie is my favorite film because I know Clerks
Yeah.
is my favorite film ever. But like, I like this movie because it shows that it inspires me to know that I don't need $1 billion to create like something great and it's all and just you got to be
Almost
creative. You got to
hell
be
for
ambitious. You also got to be you also got to like withstand whatever comes your way, whether it be anxiety or the fucking Texas heat.
I mean hell for a horror movie. It's almost better if you have a lower budget because it forces you to be creative.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. And it's just that there's a lot of a lot of people I think would probably dismiss this as an exploited B movie, but no, there's a lot of like thought and soul put into it.
Yeah. Also, one more little bonus trivia fact: that part when Sally jumps out the glass window. Um, apparently Marilyn Burns actually hurt herself filming that scene.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I got for Texas Chainsaw. Drew, do you have any closing thoughts on Texas Chainsaw?
Let's see here. I'm just looking at some trivia stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. Here's I think we were kind of talking about this a little bit off mic. So here I'm gonna read this straight from the IMDb page. Gunnar Hansen said that during filming, he didn't get along very well with Paul A. Pertan, who played Franklin. A few years later, he met Partan again and realized that Partan, a method actor, had simply chosen to stay in character even when not filming. The two remained good friends up to Partan's death.
Damn.
Yeah, because again, Franklin, he's kind of supposed to be this cynical, kind of annoying character, and the
Yeah.
people on set thought the same way
Mhm.
because he stayed in character the whole time. So it's
I
like,
don't
you know.
I don't know how to feel about method actors if I want to work with one. I mean, I feel like I don't I know- didn't isn't Christian Bale a method actor?
I think a lot of big actors are method actors. Christian Bale is
That's
one.
true. I
I
mean,
think.
and
I think Adam Driver is one too. Is another famous example.
really,
Yeah.
well, wonder how he felt on the set of Black Klansman when he said that one line. You know the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Adam Driver was a method actor. But
Yeah. I heard
the
that
only other
somewhere
method
that he
actor I
was a
know is
famous actor.
Jared Leto. Man, he was a nightmare to work with,
He's.
especially on Suicide Squad and Morbius, the greatest movie of all time. Oh wait, no, it's Madam Web. It's Madam Web. We should be saying that about, not Morbius. Anyways, um, but yeah, that's all I gotta say really about Texas Chainsaw. I love this movie. It's probably,
Oh
I
yeah.
argue it's one of the.
One last bonus trivia fact. Did you all know that the house used for the Sawyer family, the dinner scene at the end of the movie, is a barbecue restaurant now, located in Texas,
Yeah,
obviously. And
one of these days I
you can go there and eat food, and it's made to look like the house at the end of the movie.
maybe one day I will make a trek there one day. I will make a fucking trek there one day. I know. I mean, hey, there are people out there who make the trek to go see the American Football House and the 100 Gex Tree. And
There's a lot of there's a lot of like cool places for that were used in the making of a lot of famous horror movies.
oh,
A famous example is the Myers house from Halloween, from I
oh
believe
yeah,
the opening scene of
mm-hmm.
Halloween, and yeah, it makes an appearance throughout the movie, of course.
Interesting.
That house was relocated and turned into a chiropractor's office.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I
Uh,
think the summer camp from the original Friday the 13th, I believe, is an abandoned camp now, I believe. I think.
that's wild.
Um,
I
in
can't really
fact,
think of any other famous horror movie locations. I can only think of I got.
the
Well,
house, one of the houses that what was used in the remake, the 2003 remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is also, I think, a somewhat famous location. The problem is, for that place, they have I guess they shoot trespassers on site, the owners of the property. Like they
which
don't want
location?
the house from the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2003 remake.
Oh
Um,
dang,
yeah, apparently the owners of that property do not want people there because like they have signs and stuff that says like we shoot trespassers on site or something
oh
extreme
man!
like that.
Imagine if the people from the Breaking Bad house did that shit.
Yeah,
Because like I don't know if you heard
to be
about this,
fair,
but
to be fair, like it is their property. They can do what they want with it. If they don't want
that's true.
trespassers
I
around.
believe like I don't want to get political, but I believe if you own property, you have every right to defend it.
Yeah, or do what you want with it or whatever. What were you saying
Yeah.
about the Breaking Bad house?
So the Breaking Bad house is like so bad because like the owners of the Breaking Bad house, people would just start throwing pizzas on the roof. And it got so bad they had to like fence it off. But still, there are people out there
That's
to this day, they still try and
I,
throw pizzas on the roof.
I've never seen Breaking Bad, but that seems kind of random. Just throw pizzas on the roof.
There's a scene in the movie. It makes sense given what happens in the show and the context.
Okay. Um, let's see.
But still, just because, still, guys, just I mean, it's
Oh,
one thing to take a picture. It's
I
one.
didn't
I was
know
gonna say it's
this.
one thing to take a picture of like a famous location, but don't fucking vandalize it. You know?
Yeah. I didn't know this. The film's original distributor was Bryanston Distribution Company, which turned out to be a mafia front operated by Louis Pereno,
I heard of that, but
who
I didn't think that was
who
true. I didn't
who
read too much
used
into that. I didn't read too much into that.
who used the movie to launder profits he made from Deep Throat.
That's an X-rated movie. I actually okay. I
Yeah.
did look a little bit into that, but like that's all. I only know the basic surface level of that.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Oh yeah.
But like,
Also, this was the highest grossing independent film until Halloween 1978, 4 years later. So
heck yeah, let's go, Tobin Hooper and
Toby,
Leatherface. Toby Hooper.
Toby
What?
Hooper.
I swear there was an N in his name. I'm being Mandela affected here, man.
Oh, you're probably thinking of Tobin Bell. an actor.
That could explain a lot.
Yeah.
Jigsaw, right?
Yeah.
That could explain a lot. But yeah, that's Texas Chainsaw. I got nothing else to say. Drew,
It's
closing
a great,
thoughts?
it's a great movie that every horror fan should watch, even if it's just,
Ab-
for the legacy and for the influence of it. I mean, I think it's a good movie, but it's not my go-to. But
Absolutely, I agree. This has been another episode of Why Horror Matters. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our other podcast episodes and independent reviews. Still the Hunters of Beavers review has not been uploaded yet. Thank you all so much for watching once again. Follow the socials, and once again, like, comment, subscribe, and comment down below to help us in the algorithm. And yeah, that's about it. Have a good one, and have a great supper.